Student-centered learning is the first policy direction in the Learning and Technology Policy Framework, and it's about making learning personal for students, putting technology in the hands of the students to make it very authentic and giving them access to the real-world tools.
In the class, we were working on, it's the start of an inquiry project where students are tracking the life cycle of a plant. And we had already gone through the brainstorming process using a MindMeister app, and that allowed us to collaborate as a class on the tools that students might use to complete the activity. Are you taking pictures, John, using PhotoRoll and then uploading to Google Drive? You're going to be creating a Lego movie and then throwing it onto Google Drive. So you'll do that step by step, one picture a day.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so boys and girls, remember you're choosing the tool that best allows you to represent and record the life cycle of your plant and how you're going to share that with other people. Some chose to use stop animation and track the life cycle of their plant through a stop animation program, Lego Movie Maker. Others decided to use Google Docs or Google Drive to create a Word document and insert pictures over and over and over again to track the information that they were learning. Some chose an app called Linoit, where they were able to post stickies and pictures and videos of the life cycle of their plant as it happened. And there were those students too that chose to do a plain old journal using paper and pencil, because that's what they felt most comfortable with. The big thing for me and within our classroom is using the technology not just as a replacement for what they could have done with paper and pencil. There needs to be some added benefit to it. So we were looking at collaboration with other people.
To go along with what John said, with Linoit, to keep track, we grab a sticky note and we write down what we want to say.
Now as you do this, the whole class is looking at the things that you think you know and can see those confirmed things. They can look at those things that you found out, you researched, you did experiments on, and this is all building to our whole class's base of knowledge, right? So you're contributing to everybody's learning, which is very, very cool.
Technology gives students a range of choices in accessing the curriculum and in demonstrating what they know and can do.
In science, we study the particle model of matter, and basically what I did was in one of my WebDAV, my classes folder, I had put in some videos, different keynotes, different interactive websites that all had to do with the particle model of matter. So the students had access to this folder that had kind of all resources that I had pulled together. I basically told the students what their task was, that they needed to know the particle model of matter, and they had to show me that they understood it.
There are 4 different types of particle of matter.
There was students who are auditory learners that were doing text-to-speech to listen to maybe just the section of the textbook that I put in or the keynote that I had mentioned. Then there was a lot of the visual learners who were watching the videos, and that was just exciting to them because they could pause and replay as they went along, and that was something I didn't think of. But they were so happy because they could pause it and then go back a little bit and start, because when you play a video for the whole classroom, they don't get that option. I had also done just an audio recording of basically what I would say if I was teaching in front of the lesson.
In my class today, the students were working on a presentation for the conclusion of our science unit on senses. A couple of the groups were using iMovie and creating a trailer. A couple of the groups were using what's called Little Bird Tales, and it allows them to create a storybook. And a couple of the groups were using Puppet Pals, which allows them to tell their presentation by using characters.
Hi, horse. Do you want to learn about the senses? Oh, sure. There's 5 senses, and my friend Monkey is going to help us. Hi.
The great thing about assistive and supportive technologies is that they level the playing field for students. They're critical for some students, but they can be used to help all students learn.
You found some frog eyes. Okay, and what will you do with the frog eyes?
I just put them in order. we have WordQ that the students will use all the time, or the Mac OS, like text-to-speech. We usually present it to the whole class. We don't pull those specific kids aside and say, this is something that's going to help you. We present it to the whole class, and the whole class thinks it's awesome and thinks it's fun, and they use it for the longest time, but slowly over time, it will be those key kids that need it that will stick with it. And it doesn't become a big deal at all for the rest of the kids because they've all had the opportunity to use it.
If they live in a place that speaks the other language more, they would be known as official language minorities.
So this type of technology actually helps Gracie with the typing. It helps with letter recognition and sound recognition. When we're doing storytelling, organizing thoughts and getting ideas down and trying to put pictures to our stories and creating something in our language arts program. It's more interesting. She doesn't have to worry about the actual letter production. She can actually type the letters. She can actually create the story just by moving things around rather than trying to draw or rather than trying to have to generate something from within. She can just look and create something that she sees.
What is the last letter?
E.
Having technology in the classroom actually helps her to share her ideas with her friends, and it really helps to create an atmosphere of inclusion with her in the classroom.
Technology now is on an even playing field. I think it benefits all types of learners. It just gets them excited, it gets them engaged, and it gets them excited about learning.